Welcome back to Mitford Pottery. Trying to do something different in the new videos. So I'm going to take a leaf out of the great Simon Leach's playbook, and I'm basically going to show you how we can make some basic tools to help us in our pottery. And the first one is going to be our sponge on a stick, getting the water out of the bottom of your cylinders. So this is our first tool that we're going to make, and we're going to do twisted cut-off wires in an upcoming video and whatever else I can think of. So basically Simon Leach has all these on his channel, and this is my take on me doing the process to make my own rudimentary throwing tools. So we'll get the camera adjusted to the work surface, and then we'll run through our bits and pieces. Get some of these out of the way. There you go. So what we have, a car sponge which started life, just a nice decent car sponge, about a pound, and we have cut it up roughly into segments. And the way you test it, so there's the end bit, the round bit, and we bend that over. That goes on the end of your stick. Other basic bits, and this is a dowel, and I think it's we'll measure it, because I can't remember the diameter of it. Have I got a tape measure anywhere? I must have a tape measure somewhere. Must have a tape measure. We'll turn that off as well, so we can hear ourselves thinking. Where's my tape? There, it's there. Excuse me. I shall lean in front of the camera. It's about 5mm or so. Let's have a measure. Yeah, 5mm. So 5mm. 6mm. So we start off with 6mm dowel, and we chop it off roughly. If we get our steel rule, so we're roughly going 30 centimeters, 12 inches, so the length of a normal ruler. And then what we can do when we get our sponge on, we can mark inch increments on there. So all we do, chop it up into little sticks, sand the end. Now the other end, we sand it so it's a bit of a point, if that'll focus in. So you get a bit of a point, and then what we do, we just put some notches in, sort of grooves all the way around. So we've got a bit of sponge, a stick, then what we need, some small cable ties. So these are the smallest ones, or you can probably get smaller than that, but they do for us. And then the fiddly bit is, what you got to do, we're going to bend that round. Now we don't want to push the stick in, because when you're pushing on the bottom of a pot you can make a mark. So we're not pushing, we're just bending that round. And then what we're going to do, we're going to fasten it to them notches with our cable tie. And so what we do, we'll prep our cable tie, because you need a million pairs of hands when you're doing this. What I might do, actually, if I can find somewhere to hook it onto, will it work? I've got nowhere to fasten it onto. I was going to clamp the stick down so I could show you, but never mind. We'll go for it. So we bend the sponge over like that. Then we just hold that, drop our cable tie over, and then we got to tuck the ends in, and then once you get it like that, we hold the ends And then we slowly nip our cable tie, make sure everything's in place. So as you can see, our cable tie is now holding all the corners in, and then it's a case of pulling that tight as you can get it without ripping your fingernails off. So that's it. So we now have sponge on a stick fastened on, and then it's just that little tail to cut off like that, and there you have a sponge on a stick. And then what I tend to do to utilise this as a ruler so you can measure things as well, we will get our steel rule next to it, rest that on there. I said it's just to give you a rough gauge. Get our Sharpie, and then we'll just put inch increments on there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Like so. So then we get some increments on it. So like I say, when you're doing your pot, you can get the water out and you can quickly turn it over and go, how many is that? And you can write numbers on if you want. And there you go. So that's an ordinary one, so that'll cover most pots. Now if you're doing really big pots, obviously you need a bigger stick, so I'm going to attempt some larger items this year, so I need a more substantial stick. So this is thicker dowel, so this is sort of, this is 9mm dowel. So it's double, at least double the thickness of that. And we're going to make a bigger sponge on it. I mean, the sponge bit itself isn't any bigger really. It's just, it's got a bigger handle to get into the bigger pots. And it's the same principle. So we'll prep our cable tie. So that's ready to go, and then we'll position our sponge, then we'll bend it over, and then we'll have a look, see what it looks like. Alright there, put that our cable tie over, tuck everything in. Make sure everything's in there, everything's on. And tighten that in. That's in. Push that down as tight as we get. Chop the tail off. Now we have our super-sized, it's that big, it's off the camera. So there's our two sponge on sticks. Very useful, very useful bit of equipment. Saves you trying to get into a pot with a long bit of foam. I mean, preferences, it's entirely up to your preference. But there's our first tool video. Sponge on a stick. Quick preview of the next video, which is going to be our twisted cut-off wire. So again, we have our dowel. We've got a dowel, and we've got a bisque version of the dowel, but we will explain that in the next video. Move the camera up. Thanks for watching Mitford Pottery. Tool tips, number 1, sponge on a stick. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye for now.